Game week 5. So
Game
much to
week
talk
five.
about. So much to talk
Yeah.
about in this
It's,
this game week because we're coming off the international break. Have you been watching the international games and what you see so far?
watched a couple games, not all of them. I saw a little bit of France the other day. Today I looked at Italy, Netherlands, so I didn't look at the
That was a
England game.
good game. That was a good
Yeah, I
strategic
saw
game.
the previous England game against Belgium. Uh, saw a little bit of Ukraine,
What are your
Spain.
thoughts on the England Belgium? Because there are a lot of Premier League players in. I mean, in that lineup,
And the
they 20.
Belgium team, yeah. KDB and those guys. Was a good game. I was actually surprised England won. To be honest with you, I thought Belgium would blow them out of the water because at the beginning Lukaku was looking like he was ready to put in work, but England held out. I was really surprised. Also by the lineup by the English coach. Uh, for somebody who didn't play in that game, I was, because I'm considering bringing him in this week. We'll talk about these things later, but I was happy to kind of see Grealish didn't start because he's under my consideration this week.
What?
Yeah, and he didn't play today either. So
What is he? 7.5, 7.6 now, maybe?
I think 7.1 or 2.
Oh, really?
So I'm
All
looking at
right, all right.
Grealish, looking at Barkley. So Barkley been rested, so he's also on my mind right now because he wasn't
Mm.
on the England team. Yeah,
Yeah, Grealish is
KDB,
7.1. Nice.
yeah, KDB might be tired. So who knows? Who knows? We also
Yeah,
have to consider guys from the Portuguese team. So because Cristiano had COVID, so we don't know if he was around guys
I
on
mean
the
they
Portuguese team.
played today, so I think and today is the Wednesday the 14th to recording this
Yeah,
episode. So hopefully they got tested before the game and they don't have it. Bruno
yeah,
is who is in my team at a hefty 10.5.
yeah. So
So
we don't know what's hanging out with Cristiano.
I know, right?
So,
Well, even to go into just that Portuguese team has some key players in. I
yeah,
think
a lot of
I think Jota
Wolves
is gonna
players. Yeah,
probably
Jota,
start this week.
Wolves player.
So that's a guy that we could look out for as Sadio Mane. We get news Friday night about Sadio Mane. I don't think he should be back to play from
I
that
would
COVID.
doubt it.
Yeah.
I would doubt it.
So just going back into it a little bit there, KDB, I was reading some articles and, he came off in the game out of concern, in inverted commas, I put it as concern, came out of a concern, but he spoke out about how many games he's playing and about getting rest. Um, wow, big game against Arsenal this weekend.
Also,
And
also not to cut you off, also Champions League starting next week as well. So go ahead. But
I
Champions League
mean,
as well.
yeah, so that's even more salt to the pot. I don't, you don't know what kind of game Pep's gonna play, and now people like Barkley and Grealish on teams where they're sweating 90 minutes, looking more attractive to me than my KDB who's on my team right now. So that's something I considering right now for Friday. I didn't make any early transfers. I know some people made the early transfers.
I
Some
did I did Aubameyang to Son early, but I'm doing a -4 this week, so it's gonna be either Barkley or Grealish I bring in because I would have 9.3 to buy someone, and that's more than enough for either one.
Yeah, I could see myself taking. That's me. I like to take the early hits in the season, so I could take. I look to take probably a -4, even though my team is relatively good to start. Um, I'm looking closely at that KDB situation because I don't want to have, that kind of output from KDB of 0 and going to Mitchell on my bench. So we'll talk about my team later, but let's just jump into the show and this game week 5 coming up right now. Wow. Any of those games, I mean, it's just such a hard thing to formulate all these teams and all the results. We have top scoring Tottenham going up against best defense West Ham, right? My criticisms about Tottenham, everything they're scoring is on counterattack. That's not sustainable for FPL, in my opinion. And we shocked by West Ham. What do you think really going to happen in this game now?
That's actually a game I haven't been thinking about too deeply. I just got Son in and I'm just gonna leave him there. So it's a game I didn't put too much thought into, but it should be a good battle. West Ham have been informed. Uh, Kane didn't play the opening two games for England. He played today. I think he played maybe. Did he play the 90?
I think he
I think he
came
played
off.
the 90. So he just
Yeah,
had one game.
yeah.
Um,
Let me just check that.
so West Ham, I don't believe, had too many international players. Antonio wouldn't have played any games in the last weeks. They would have had Declan Rice. So that should be
Oh,
about
love
it.
Declan Rice. Yep.
Yeah, but the guys on the wing like Masuaku, Cresswell should be rested. It should be a good game.
Yeah,
I
and their defensive wise, are you afraid of what Tottenham could do on their defense?
it's so hard to predict what's going to happen this early season. I don't want to say too much, but this game could go either way. This game could go either way, just based on how West Ham have been performing right now. Hopefully, for them, David Moyes would still be home, because they've been doing well without him there. It's really hard to predict or say one thing or the other. I will give Spurs the benefit because they're home, but again, there's no
So you're
crowds
going
now.
attack over defense in this scenario because
Yeah, I just put Son in. I just left it at that. This could be 3-2, 3-3, 2-2.
no
Yeah,
0-0.
I'm just hoping Son is amongst the points.
All
That's
right,
about
okay,
it.
okay. Well, and in the week starts off 4:30 a.m. West Coast time,
Yeah.
Merseyside derby, Everton versus Liverpool. Now, Everton would be without a number of players, and Alan is a big part of their team. I'll follow up Friday to make sure he might be out still, but man, right now I feel I'm not confident right now. I know they have hype right now, but I have seen a different team play on paper. I didn't see them to be this dominant force since they played. I saw them they got the counterattacks, they scored them, but I mean, with Virgil in the back, it's a tough seal. Jordan Henderson coming back into the fold. To me, I think he's the talisman of Liverpool. When he's on, they perform better. So I think people would be oddly surprised with the performance of Everton this week. I don't know if this is going to translate into they're going to get beat 3-0, or it might be something where they get beat 1-0 and they didn't have that many chances. I don't see them having that many chances. I don't see them performing that well this
Even
week.
even with Hammers in the team,
I haven't seen
yeah.
any. I'm being honest. I have James in my team, and he's been in my team, but I haven't seen him take control of the game to say, "Hey, he's this dominant figure in EPL." Like I saw him score the balls that come across, the crosses, and he puts away his chances when he got.
Wow.
But
I
yeah,
I feel the opposite. I think Everton could have plenty chances in this game, especially if Alexander Arnold and Robertson get forward. That would leave room for Richarlison and Hammers to get in behind. Also, Joe Gomez has been kind of shaky to start the season. So
agreed.
if Calvert-Lewin stays away from Van Dijk and he targets Gomez, if he just
I mean, they
stays
did
with
they did
us,
get 7. So forget
he could.
I mean, they did get 7.
Yeah. I also remember Allison is not there.
Alisson's not there too. So yeah,
So I wouldn't count Everton out at all. Even if Alan is missing,
but
I think Everton have a pretty good shot here, a pretty good chance. I remember a game. Many. That was when Suarez was still on Liverpool. Where they drew 3-3 with Everton. I think this could be something like that, where it's fireworks because they had Suarez one end, Lukaku the other end.
yeah.
And I think it could be the same thing now with Salah, with
So
Calvert-Lewin.
you
These
seen it
guys,
a more open game than before.
yeah. I mean, early in the season, especially without crowds, defense is out the window. I think the Premier League right now is averaging 3.7 goals a game. It's
Yeah, nuts.
defenses have not settled yet.
No,
Their
yeah, I
souls.
I agree. I definitely agree that, and I'm not saying that Everton can't score. I'm gonna say that the performance that I would say, well, they're deserving of 3 goals. Like even as like Aston Villa, yeah, they shot the ball 7 times, but a lot of it was deflections, mistaking the keeper So I just don't see Everton dominating any play, but that doesn't mean to say, like, again, like Tottenham, they scored 5, they didn't dominate any play, they got
Yeah,
dominated.
yeah.
But
This
so yeah,
this one could have goals, man. This
which
one
makes
could
it
have
hard
goals.
to pick because it's like I want to pick the teams that play the best, not the
I
teams that
I
that are guaranteed to play. Counter is something that's not reliable.
so for me in this game, I own Salah and I own Alexander Arnold. I don't own any Everton players.
I own
And for
DCL.
me, it's basically like you said, 4:30 on the West Coast. It's going to be 7:30 here on the East Coast for me, and it's just basically waking up and it's going to be like
Fireworks.
opening a present because I don't know what to expect in this game.
True, true,
We
true,
don't know
true,
what
true.
this game could finish 1-1, 0-0, 4-4, and anyway we can't say that we shocked no matter what the result.
No,
So
I get you. I
I have
get you. I get
Salah
you.
and Trent, and I'm just going to hope for the best in this game. You looking at some games that could be fireworks, where I'm looking at some games that could be pretty tactical. Like the games that are standing out to me this week are I'm looking at the Leeds Wolves game. Nuno against Bielsa. I think this game could be pretty chess match.
Right.
You know, this game could be like a chess match. That's the kind of games where I'm thinking like, oh, what could happen here? Another game that's really standing out to me is the Leicester Aston Villa game. Just based on what Aston Villa did in the last game, and also Leicester. Remember, guys like Vardy no longer on the international team. Madison coming back, so I don't think he was on the England team. So these guys rested for 2 weeks, and these are games, Brendan Rodgers would have had time to sit and really plan and be ready for. Same for the Villa coach Smith. These are the games where I'm looking at the chess moves and what could happen, because I'm highly considering, like I said, Barkley or Grealish, and wondering, can these guys really do something against
As a
Leicester?
good differential.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If we look top to bottom on this list right now of league games, I think
Yeah.
it's just going to be so unpredictable because we have unpredictable Chelsea. We have Man City versus Arsenal for Saturday, and we don't know which Man City team gonna show up. And it's just so much unpredictable game. So
And one last thing I want to just throw in there before you move on to is not just the fact that these games could be unpredictable. It's like Champions League around the corner Tuesday, Wednesday. So would a coach maybe switch the lineup in the Premier League? I'm looking at a team like Chelsea where Lampard has so many options that he could rest some guys. Let's say he could rest Werner and play Abraham or Giroud. He could rest Havertz because Pulisic is back. Bring Pulisic back into the lineup. Lineups could be very different this weekend.
it makes the Ross Barkleys of the world very attractive. That's what I would say for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, and
Ross Barkley is very attractive.
That's part of why I'm happy that I have Salah, because he didn't have any international games, so I'm not worried about any rotation with him.
Right.
Whereas someone like a KDB who said he's tired, or even a Bruno, the coach may decide to not play them the 90 minutes to save them for the Champions League. So I'm pretty happy having Salah this week. Son also, I have Son also. Son didn't have any international games. So all these things come into consideration when picking our teams.
Yeah. All right. Well, now after we just kind of talk about the lineups and everything like that, I think we should roll into the who we must have for this game weeks. Right. So starting in the back, I'll go first. Watching the Crystal Palace Brighton game. Yeah, I don't see a lot of creativity coming out of Crystal Palace. They play on the counter a bit. And I see some solid back play in the back for Brighton. And a guy who always is amongst the points is Lewis Dunk. And to me, he I know normally the pick might be probably an outside back, but just seeing our call on set pieces, Brighton are pretty good, and Crystal Palace falter within their centre backs. I'll make a standout pick. I think Dunk might be the guy to have for this game.
So I've actually copied you this week, which is a surprise in terms of also not going with a wing back, because usually we would pick a right back or left back who gets forward to deliver some crosses and get some assists. And I've also gone for a centre back this week. I would go with Kurt Zouma from Chelsea, because I think he could be good on set pieces against Southampton. He could be good on a corner, and it's really hard to predict clean sheets, but I think Chelsea could pull a clean sheet this week. And Lampard seems to like Zuma, so I will go with him.
All right. Moving on to midfield. Who you thinking in midfield is a
So
must-have?
I just spoke about him and I
He
actually
has to be
transferred
there.
him this game week. So it's Son. I I planning to keep Son in my team for quite a while. Something drastic has happened for me to
Until
get
his
him out.
hamstring. You gotta keep him until hamstrings going. Keep him until you
Yeah,
run him like a
something
hamster.
drastic has happened for me to take Son out. We spoke about the game with West Ham. It could be unpredictable. My hope is just that, let's say if it's 3-3, that Son is involved in 2 goals, or there's 2 assists, a goal and assist, 2 goals. Just gotta hope Son is there amongst things. What's going to be interesting with this game quickly before you give your pick to is who knows if Jose is going to surprise us with Gareth Bale playing some minutes in this game.
Oh,
It would be
what do you think
interesting.
about that? Yeah.
I think it could happen. We saw pictures that he's been training, so I think it could be pretty interesting where we could see
Yeah,
Son,
I
Bale,
wanna
Kane.
read some more about I wanna read a little bit more about the Gareth Bale. I know a lot of the old fantasy players, they have a affinity to him. So
Definitely.
that's something that I wouldn't mind looking out and reading a bit about. So anybody else on that Spurs team, that Harry Kane?
Yeah, you could go with Kane. These guys would be good captaincy choices this week as well. So I mean, although West Ham have been doing well, it's there will be goals. There will be goals. So
All right, all right.
who are you looking at in the
I'm always
midfield?
on the side of defense and looking at the counter. But hey, as you say, if there's goals, I'll be there to tune into that game. For me, my midfield pick might come as a shocker because this team hasn't been rolling. But my midfield pick is Bruno, and I just feel against Newcastle, they gave up the most free kicks around the box and the area. So he's a guy on set pieces. And it's this is 1 week that we're gonna have to see how these teams gonna come back out from this break. I don't think it could go worse for Man United. Like it really couldn't go as bad as it did, and he still scored.
You have to be aware of Saint Maximum could cause he could be the best midfielder on the field over Bruno, but I would be a little cautious of saying Bruno is the must-have. Do I think I must have Bruno this week?
For me, I feel confident he's gonna bring me points. Right?
I am scared in terms of the fact, like I said, with the Champions League, I don't know if he's gonna play the 90, and also I don't know if him and Cristiano were within 3 feet of each other without a mask. So I'm just a little cautious of Bruno.
We put asterisks, but Bruno for me as a guy, if I on my team, confident that I feel like he would bring back some kind of a return. So moving up to forward, I have on my forward must have a guy from that game, a guy who I told you to leave in the team, let him marinate and multiply points is Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson is just a man. If you could get him in before he hits 7, just do it. Unfortunately for me, I went the Ings route. I mean, it's not unfortunately because I think Ings is probably going to score more goals, but I like to see the progression of a player. Callum Wilson is a guy in this game of Manchester United, the shakiness of their back line. He gets in between.
You saw Maguire today for England, so yeah.
Yep. Maguire's taking our next international break.
Yeah.
He's just taking breaks.
Wilson can have. Actually, if I wildcarded this week, which I didn't, I would have brought in Wilson, but I unfortunately still have Mitrovic on my team. But if I wildcarded, I would have looked at Wilson. But for me, the must-have forward player this week, the striker, and he's actually also in my team. I usually don't pick guys who are in my team, but this week I have Son, and I'm also going to go with Jamie Vardy up front.
All right.
Even though Villa can win this game, I think Leicester will score some goals. So, like, even though we saw Villa beat Liverpool 7-2, which I obviously don't think we're going to see that kind of result this week, but it could be 3-2.
Hey, we never know. No?
But I always would believe if Leicester does something, that Vardy would be involved in it. And this one could have goals. And like I said, he's rested. He decided, like, listen, Harry Kane is going to start all the games for England. Why am I keep going there? Let me lengthen my my club career,
Right.
and he retired from England, and I think he would be fresh, he would be revived, and he'd be ready to go. And I think he could cause the Villa defense some problems this week. So for me, Vardy is the must-have striker this week.
Uh, You know, I'm always the advocate of defense. I like what Villa's doing on defense, you know, as opposed to last year. They're not a team right now I want to test, so Vardy wouldn't be the captain for me. Um, for me, he's like I quicker captain Wilson right now over Vardy in terms of I just afraid of Aston Villa. Now, if they get exposed, great for them, you know. But apart from that 7-2 drubbing, you know, they didn't concede any goals um and Tyrone Mings looks good in the back, you know, and the back four looks solid. So um I would be wary, but it's Jamie Vardy, and this man has scored against everybody. This man he's a phenom. So he's always a person to have, a must have in your team. And it's gutsy to go against Villa. We wasn't saying that last season a few months ago, but now it
True,
is.
true,
But
true.
yeah, it should be a good one, and that would, as you said, it'd be a very tactical one as well.
All right, so let's look at the under the radar picks. And again, for everyone who's listening or watching right now, these are guys who are owned by less than 5%.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I was looking at somebody who I was going to surprise you with, and he was going to be my definite under the radar pick. And then, unfortunately, I saw he's owned by 6%. So I had to change. I was going to go with Ryan Brewster for Sheffield United, but he's owned by
Uh-huh.
6%. So I had to change my pick right before we came on air, and I am going to go with a West Brom player this week, which is a team you wouldn't expect us to go with too often. But West Brom are home to Burnley, and we spoke about him several times in the preseason. I don't know if we spoke about him since the season started, but Matthias Pereira
Yeah. I think
at
we give
West
him a
Brom.
mention, but
Yeah,
nothing in
because
depth.
he's involved in everything that
Everything.
West Brom does.
Everything.
And I think they can do something against Burnley. This is a game we didn't mention.
Right.
Like I said, a lot of people are not looking at West Brom players, but if you want that differential and for a low price, you need that fifth midfielder, fourth midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can look at Pereira. So and Burnley is a good game that they can score some points. So Matthias Pereira is my under the radar pick.
Right. And in week 2, he had 10 points, a goal and assist. He just gets into attacking spaces against Everton. So
Yeah, I like
I
this player.
yeah. He's a 6. I like that pick. Burnley also is struggling. You know, their centre backs, they haven't had their starting centre backs since the last year. Ben Mee to me is the centerpiece of Burnley. He's not
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And I
I
think
think they
that's what
just got Tarkowski back. They just got him back.
right. And I think somebody else went out again this week.
Oh,
So they just, you know, I have Charlie Taylor in my team, but they just aren't the same Burnley without Ben Mee. Ben Mee is the centerpiece. So I think looking at West Brom assets this week is something pretty good. And I like that. I like that pick. At 6.0, 19 points already for the season. It's a good guy to fit in this week. My differential pick is the poor man's Mahrez, Jack Harrison. The poor man's Mahrez.
oh man, you bring that back up. Okay, okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so Wolves are struggling on that left side. The poor man's Mahrez, Jack Harrison coming on the right. Um, and sometimes they switch the sides up. But I see what Wolves so far struggling on the wing back positions. They haven't figured it out yet. Now, I don't know if this pick is gonna haunt me now because they figured everything out international break, but I doubt it because the players were away. Even though some of them played together, they were away. Leeds at home, and like as you said, this is a chess
Yeah,
match.
this
And
this would this would be a lot. Just sorry to interrupt, but a lot of people would be looking at Man City, Arsenal, and Everton, and Liverpool. But I think Leeds Wolves is for a neutral fan a good game to watch some good football and watch some good coaching this week.
right, and adjustments and stuff like that too. So yeah, I definitely on par with that, and I would love to see because these both teams have attacking wing backs, which also opens up space for the wingers like Jack Harrison and stuff. So I could see he's owned by 2%, 2.1%. Um, I could see him getting a double-digit haul. I could see him getting 10 to 15 points, 2 assists, a bonus somewhere. And he's performed really well in every single game. So that was a good preseason call by you. That was one of your preseason picks, and he's a guy on my radar. So there we
All
go.
right. Let's move on to the bold predictions. I'm waiting to hear what you told me before we came on. You have a big one for me. And you've had big ones the past weeks, and you've actually done well. So let me hear what you got for me this week.
All right. So the game that this is gonna be a bold one. So I don't know. You have to
I'm
buckle.
listening, man.
You have to
I'm listening.
buckle
I'm
up for
all
this
ears.
one. All right. Now, because City has fallen back so much, and this is where the calculation is. This is the back thought behind the bold prediction. Because City has fallen back so much, and I don't think that they're at laurels to take a break off for Champions League because they can't afford to fall. So they're not in the top 10, right?
Yeah, I agree.
They cannot lose at home to Arsenal. That just can't happen for City. They can't lose to Arteta. I can't see Pep benching KDB against Arteta in a game this is a must-win game for City. My bold prediction is that KDB is the top scorer in FPL points, game week 5.
Listen,
Hands
man.
on, Mike
Listen.
down, Captain
Every week.
KDB. Captain KDB. Captain
Let me say something.
KDB.
You are the I have to say this. You are the king of the bold predictions. Whenever I think I have some bold, you go out there, man. Like I have to give you your props. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I have to give you your props. I have to give that because you go bold. You go really bold.
This is bold.
I have to give you the props, and a couple of times you got it right. So you are the king of the bold predictions. I don't even know how I'm gonna beat that. I don't even want to give my bold prediction now.
Like I said, listeners out there, I went into the mindset of a coach. I watched KDB got a rest for the second game. I know you're talking about injuries and all that. To me, this is Champions League quarterfinals right now.
Wow, you did good. You did good. My pick is definitely not as bold as that. So my bold prediction is actually my third choice. I was thinking about this before we came on, and I had a pick, and then I said, nah, that's not really that. So my first pick was going to be, I was going to say the Villa-Leicester game is going to have 5 goals, but then I said that's not really bold because Villa scored 7 by themselves last time. So I scratched that as my pick, and then I was going to pick from the game you actually just picked. I was going to say Arsenal, Man City would have 2 goals or less total in it because I think Pep and Arteta would be very cagey. I don't think it's going to be an open game. That's why I don't believe KDB is going to be the top scorer, actually. I was going to say that's going to be a close game, but then I didn't want to pick a game that you're picking from. So I had to go down to my third choice for the bold prediction. And it's going to be Sheffield United Fulham game. 2 teams in need of 3 points. I don't think Sheffield has any points for the season. And does Fulham have like 1 point maybe?
Fulham got a point. Yeah, they remember that.
So it's teams who need a win, and Sheffield is notoriously a defensive team, but I think this game is gonna actually have goals. I'm hoping Sheffield coach Wilder starts Ryan Brewster. I'm hoping Mitrovic finally gets some service now that they have Loftus-Cheek. They have Ademola Lookman.
Mm-hmm.
I like Lookman. I like him for some seasons now. He went to RB Leipzig, but he's back on loan at Fulham. They got Loftus-Cheek. He has been good for Chelsea, and I think he would be great for Fulham. They need a player like him who is not afraid to just bully people and go forward. Mitrovic would finally have 2 guys now who can give him some service and take attention away from him. So I'm going to think this Sheffield Fulham game is going to give me 4 or 5 goals this week. Wow, I know you wouldn't expect that for a game with Sheffield, but I think Sheffield Fulham is going to have some goals in it. I'm looking for Fulham to really. That's another reason why I didn't use my wild card to get rid of Mitrovic, because now he has some help. And I really think Loftus-Cheek was a very, very good move from Fulham to get him on the deadline day. And I like Ademola Lookman. I think he came on for some minutes in Fulham last game too, and he was effective. So I'm looking more for Fulham, but also Sheffield has Ryan Brewster, so I'm expecting some from them as well.
And just to clear it, I know I said before, Sheffield didn't get any points, but I was thinking about that comeback game. But I definitely feel you on that. This is one of those things where, I would love to see how Loftus-Cheek looks.
He's another one, guys who listening and watching, whether you're on Spotify or YouTube or Apple. Loftus-Cheek is somebody you should look at over these upcoming weeks, see how he fits in that Fulham team, because he would be a good low budget pick.
All right. Yeah.
So I think we just need our suicide picks to wrap it up. I know we had our guest Rome last week.
We get
Rome pick Son. Rome pick Son as his suicide pick this week. So you want me to go, or are you gonna go first?
You go through.
I am going to pick the guy who was my under the radar pick, Matthias Pereira. I just think West Brom can do well this week. My strategy in the suicide is to let you and the guests use all your big name players early. If I just run down the list, the guests already use Salah, they use Kane, they use Ings. You already use Ings, Martial, Sterling, Mahrez. I'm letting you guys use up all your big names early in the week. So when week 30 comes, you guys have nobody good to pick. I'm getting rid of Chris Wood. I've used Jimenez. This week I'm going with Matthias Pereira as my suicide pick.
All right. I'm gonna go with one of the guys who in my earlier picks, Bruno. I'm gonna use Bruno this week. Use a Bruno card. Like I said, I know he's gonna bring back returns. I haven't been successful so far in these suicide picks, but this is pinned in with my must-have. So Bruno.
Right. I'm trying to catch the guests. You're all the way back there.
I'm all the way back.
I'm not worried about you. I'm not worried about you.
I'm all the way back with Fulham right now.
I'm not worried. I'm looking ahead to just catch the guests.
But I played a long game. So we there.
All right.
That was it. That was it. Game week 5. Let's go.
I'm ready, man. Like I said before we go, I'm gonna get Grealish or Barkley as my -4 pick, and maybe next week, who knows, when we come back on, you might hear that I activated my wild card. We'll see. Stay tuned.
Nice. Everyone, hey, stay tuned. Subscribe to us on YouTube right now if you're watching on YouTube, and Apple, Spotify, Google. We're on there. And just share this with your FPL podcast friends in your WhatsApp group. Just let's keep it live. Take care, guys.
All right, bless.
All right.